Hey everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of this weekend's Weekend Roundup. This is where we take a look at all the mods newly released in the Giants Mod Hub for the week of December 9th through December 13th. And in part 2, we are going to take a look at the placeables and script mods. And first up, we're going to take a look at the Santa hat. Now, typically we look at placeables first, but you know what? This is kind of a fun little mod, and given the time of year, why not? Let's go ahead and take a look at it. It is the Santa hat, and all it does is replace your typical ball cap that your farmer will wear in a vehicle with a little Santa outfit hat. Mod is by Viper GTS 96, and it is available for PC only because it is a custom script. All right, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at our placeables. First up, we have the Brick Warehouse by Keras, and it is available for all platforms. So we're going to find that here under Farm Buildings is category in the Mod Hub. I'm thinking it might be under Sheds. Here it is, the Brick Warehouse, $55,000 to buy, $105 per day. See, this rotates freely on all three axes. Go ahead and put her down. Yeah, let's take a look at it. Doors that open and close. Light switch. Not a light switch. This says it has two lights that switch on, one inside the building and the other outside the building. I'm wondering if that might be a translation thing, where they're not trying to mean that there are light switches, trying to mean that there are lights that turn on and off on a particular timer, because we do have a light on the outside of this building. Super high chrome downspouts. Look at those. And then we have lights on the inside of the building. I think what that means is basically at dusk, these lights will come on and off on the road. Looks like we can also store crop in here. If we take a look, we can see that we have collisions on the walls. So we can put crops in here if we wish to store crops, or if we just want to store vehicles in this building, we can do that also. So that is the Brick Warehouse by Keras, and it is available for all platforms. Next up, we have the Pig Husbandry by Mifu FS. This mod is also available for all platforms. We're going to find it here under Animal Pens. As a reminder, we have the standard pig enclosure, $90,000 for 100 pigs. Then we have the large pig enclosure, 300 pigs for $250,000. And then we have the pig enclosure here, which is for, this is the pig enclosure we're talking about, for $50,000 for 50 pigs, $90 per day. Take a look at this. Rotate it. It rotates on one of 4 different points. Put it down. Really nice texturing on this building. Probably a little pig door. A little small. We have the buy trigger to buy our pigs. So we could open the door, get them delivered. So this particular building looks like all the pigs reside inside. This is likely going to be our straw trigger. And we have our water trough right here. And I activate, when we do these videos, I use the animal pen extension. I activate that because I want to see if the mod author has activated and implemented that particular mod in their own mod. Doesn't look like that is the case here, but that doesn't mean you can't use it. Simply just place this wherever you want. For example, if I was using this building, I would probably place a spout inside the water tub there, just to get it out of the way, and then put the spout somewhere over here. Then here we have the food trough. Left click to open and close. Dump our grain in. Have our manure over here, and then our slurry hookup around the back. That, guys, is the Pig Husbandry building by Mifu FS, and as I said earlier, it is available for all platforms. Next up, we're going to take a look at the German chicken coop by Moose Agar. It is available for all platforms as well. So we have the standard chicken coop, $20,000, 100 chickens. We have the large chicken coop, 400 chickens for $40,000. Then we have the German chicken coop, $20,000 for 70 chickens, $10 per day. Rotates on the chicken coop, basically. I'm going to place it down. And when we put it down, it puts down a little bit of grass, but it doesn't change the underlying texture. Interesting, we just get some grass foliage growing. Building. Have our food trough right here, I guess, with the bags. We have our chicken pie area. And then what I understand is that the egg boxes spawn inside the coop. So you have to come in here to pick up your egg boxes. The eggs don't appear individually. They do still appear in boxes. Just you have to get them out of the chicken coop. Interesting concept. There you go. That is the Moose Agar German chicken coop. Again, it is available for all platforms. Next up, we're going to take a look at the other Pig Husbandry building that got released this week by Kamiso. The same guy I had a problem with his name earlier. Kamilos 0397 is available for all platforms. Also, $50,000 to buy, 50 pigs, $90 per day. Rotate this. Rotates on one of 4 different points. Got this building. All of these buildings look just absolutely outstanding. I really like the texturing that these guys are putting into these buildings nowadays. This building kind of serves multiple purposes. We've got the ability to store vehicles or implements, or well, since this is pigs, we can store our straw right under here. And here we have the straw trigger. We have the food trough. And then inside we also have the ability to store stuff inside here. Light switch? Nope. We have our water trough. Again, we have the animal pen extension activated just to see if it's been implemented in the mod. We have our manure point, slurry point, then our pig delivery point here. And this appears to be another mod where, for the most part, the pigs live inside the building with just the ability to come out here, get a little bit of sun, and then duck back inside. Again, that is the Pigsty building. That's how it's listed in the in-game mod hub. If you go here, though, to the placeables, it's just listed as pig enclosure. It is by Kamilos 0397, and again, is available for all platforms. platforms. Next up, we're going to take a look at the brick house. It is a small placeable Polish brick house. $120,000 to buy. Mod is available for all platforms and is by Daniel X321. Mod rotates here on its center for the most part. Down. This is a farmhouse. We can only have one on the map. It does put down a sleep trigger. Trigger does show up on the mini map, which is good to see. Does change the texture a little bit to kind of a gravel texture immediately around the building. And when we get up to the steps, this is where we have our sleep trigger. Exterior building, we don't have the choice of going inside. There you go. That is the Brick House by Daniel X321, and it is available for all platforms. You have to sell the house in order to be able to take a look at the next building. Because the next building is another farmhouse that is named Farmhouse in the in-game mod hub and is by Gamer HZS. Is also available for all platforms. Here we have the farmhouse, just $7,500. Nice and cheap. And this one has the added benefit of being a house we can actually enter. That's pretty cool. Description says this mod is seasons ready. And speaking of seasons, we may be seeing seasons as early as next week, everybody. Which is a good thing because I'm thinking next week is the final week that Giants is going to be putting mods out into the mod hub before they go on break. Means if it doesn't come out next week, it's not going to come out until 2020. That'd be a big disappointment to lots of folks. Go ahead and go on in. Side. You can hit the sleep trigger once we get into the living room here. Nice setup for what farm that is. Look, we have the ability to go into two of the rooms. It's always cool when you have the ability to go inside of buildings, houses and such in Farm Sim. So there you go. That is the Farmhouse by Gamer HZS. And we have one more placeable mod we're going to take a look at here. It is the multi-selling station by Castiga Edge Gaming. It is available for all platforms. We're going to find that here under miscellaneous, I'm thinking. Here we go. We have the multi-selling station and multi-selling station Black Edition, $10,000. Rotates on its center axis like so. Put it down. Get the Black Edition also. And what this is it's basically a placeable sell point. We have the Black Edition. And then we have the Standard Edition. Includes a nice dusk to dawn light. And what this will also do is it will register itself with the prices screen. So we have the Edge Grain Vault and the Edge Grain Vault Black. As you can see, sometimes one is better priced than the other. Other times the other is a better price than the first. This does have kind of the competitive market price fluctuation. But what this also does is it has the added benefit of being a universal sell point. It will basically buy anything and everything that is available on the map for a price. It's kind of monumental for console players because this may very well be the first time that they have had the ability of placing a sell point on the map. Whereas with PC players, we've had universal sell points and other sell points quite a while, but this is kind of more of a important mod for console players than for PC. But either way, we all get to make use of this should we so desire. That is the multi-selling station by Castiga and Edge Gaming. Next up, we're going to take a look at another script mod. We have the Filllevel Warning mod. This mod is basically used by harvesters. So let me go ahead and set up a harvester, and I'll bring you right back. So we're in the harvester, taking a look at the Filllevel Warning mod by LSM Chaz10 Farmer. And this mod is a script mod, so it is available for PC only. And what this mod does is it gives you fill level warnings for harvesters. So it makes a signal tone at 50% full and at 80% full. And when the fill level reaches 80%, the beacon lights will activate if your harvester has beacons, similar to how it works with a hired helper. So when a hired helper gets to about 80%, they'll turn on their beacons to let you know. And this mod will basically self-activate the beacons. So if you're playing in multiplayer, I would expect you'd be able to tell that the person was at 80%, and you didn't have to hear them tell you that. So let's be quiet and let's try to listen for that sound at 50%. Right now we're at 46%. Okay, so there was a little ding. Give you a little bit of warning that you're at 50%. And we're going to go ahead and cut. And I'll be back right before we hit 80% so we can hear that one. Alright, so we're at 76%. See that our beacon is not activated. Let's listen for our tone at 80%. There was our tone at 80%, and our beacons are now on. I did not turn those on. They came on automatically at 80%. And we had our little warning bell. So clearly it's kind of soft. You could easily miss it, but it is kind of cool that we have that warning. How many times have you been harvesting and not paying attention? And then a little warning bell sure would have been a nice little warning that things were about to fill up. So guys, the last mod we're going to take a look at is the Seasons Geo for Minnesota, USA. We're going to jump into our video editor. That way we can do a bit of a breakdown and comparison between the standard Seasons planting and harvesting schedule with the Geo that is built into Seasons itself and the Seasons Geo for the Minnesota, USA area. All right, so first up, I want to mention something in the description. It does state that the Geo author suggests playing something longer than 9-day season lengths, and that is because of how the weather is going to play out. If you play with 6-day seasons or 3-day seasons, you might run into issues where you don't have the weather you need in order to get the job done. So he's suggesting a bit longer season durations. So if we look at the top, which is the base Seasons Geo, and compare that to the lower right, which is the Minnesota Geo, you're going to see that planting in early spring is not something that's going to happen. And in fact, if you look real close in the background, you're going to notice that there is snow on the ground right away in early spring. So we're going to expect a lot of snowfall and some pretty cold temperatures in winter and probably early spring with this particular Geo. Now, planting our wheat, barley, oats, and sunflowers, that's going to need to be done either in mid-spring or late spring. Soybeans and corn appear to be pretty standard compared to the base Geo as far as planting goes. But let's take a look at the harvest schedule. In autumn, you're going to be harvesting your wheat, barley, your oats. Pretty much everything's got to come out of the ground before the end of autumn, and the only thing you can put into the ground during autumn is going to be wheat. Something else that's interesting to note is poplar. While we can harvest poplar all year round, we have no time that we can put poplar into the ground. So that's kind of an interesting crop. It might as well be one that we can't grow at all since we don't have any planting schedule on it. So what that brings is cotton, not a crop for this geo. Canola, not a crop for this geo. Sugarcane, not a crop for this geo. And basically poplar is not a crop for this particular geo. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed both parts of this weekend's weekend roundup. We have probably just one more weekend roundup to go before the end of the year, and that is the one for next week. And then I suspect Giants is going to go on a couple-week vacation as they celebrate the holidays and the closeout of the year. So until next time, happy farming.